They're not next up, though. Who is next up?
Next up is the other Los Angeles team. That would be the Lakers, who, yes, were a lottery team this season.
Can we just agree that we probably have the same question? I have a second one in my back pocket.
Is the question, what do you have to give up to move Russell Westbrook?
Right. Or what is the Russell Westbrook trade that's out there? And it's not even, I don't even
care. The way I actually phrased it was, are they actually willing to move Russell Westbrook?
Are they well, look, seems like they've been laying the breadcrumbs that maybe they're not going to do that. I'm sure you saw the report from the Athletic.
It feels like they're just trying to save face, right? Like, because it's going to be hard to move him without attaching a sweetener. $47.1 million for a player who looks like pretty washed.
And it's just, even if he's not, he's still very hard to fit into a larger ecosystem. We've seen it 3 times now, and maybe even 4 if you count some of those latter seasons in OKC. So I don't know what the move is out there. And I think
they give up like a 3,074 first round pick. That's their next available, right?
Yeah, roughly. And look, I get that people say there is value in the picks that they can give up, which if we're going to include swaps, which I would because they have so little, 26 and 28, they can swap. 27 and 29, they can actually trade. I get the idea that you're looking at this team now and thinking, 4 or 5 years down the line, imagine controlling their first round picks. I'm not saying that everything is always going to work out for the Lakers. They fell ass backwards into LeBron James by just ensuring they had cap space. And you need to give them credit for drafting the players they did, putting them in the position to, Anthony Davis wanted to go there, but
which players are we giving them credit for here?
I mean, look, Brandon Ingram, those are good players at Lonzo Ball that they drafted.
The Lakers have done a phenomenal job of drafting players who are only good when they leave the Lakers.
Well, but even I actually think that they've done a better job than advertised on Alex Caruso should be more of a success story.
I'm mostly being facetious here.
Right. And then even Austin Reeves is if you look at their players who are under contract for next season, forget the picks. It's Austin Reeves is their most attractive trade asset. You can say LeBron or AD, but if being realistic of players they would move, it's not none. It's not Talon Horton-Tucker.
It's definitely not.
Stanley Johnson's a team option, and then there's fucking Austin Reeves.
Hey, don't overlook Wenyen Gabriel.
I'm going to. He's hustle incarnate.
I really like watching him, actually.
He was closing games for the Lakers by season's end. So
I'm not sure whether that says more about Wenyen Gabriel or the state of the Lakers.
Let's agree that it says both, because let's not dismiss what he does.
Fair.
And he had some really nice moments in New Orleans last season.
That's why I liked watching him so much.
But what I was saying, though, before I derailed us entirely, those picks in the distance, they're attractive in theory, but there's the risk that what happened with LeBron happens again with the Lakers this time around again. The other thing is also, what front office has the job security to say, we're going to take on this money, even if it's for a year, and we're also going to give up someone or someones that can help the Lakers. Maybe they're not super good. Maybe they're on less than desirable contracts, but they're still more valuable than Russell Westbrook on those deals. What front office has the job security to say, the only return, we're not going to see a return on this deal until 2026, 2027 at the earliest? What front office has that job security? Maybe OKC, anyone in San Antonio, sure, fine. Masai in Toronto.
Yeah.
Should we say Tim Connolly in Minnesota, or is that too soon?
Oof.
Too soon. Okay. So
by the time this releases, it might not be too soon, but since we're recording this a few hours after that news.
So yeah, I just don't think what the Lakers can do. And the most popular one has been floated, Brogdon, Hield for Westbrook and those Lakers picks. Okay, sure. But you're not getting anything imminent if you're Indiana. And
yeah, I don't even understand the incentive to give up anyone of value if you're the other team. Why would you move Brogdon there? What leverage do the Lakers have? You're giving us this awful contract and a pick way down the road that might not actually be this good. Let us give you this good player.
I think it's the only reason, and this isn't specific to the Pacers, is that Brogdon's extension kicks in next season. You don't want to pay the balance of it. Russ is done in one shot. Maybe you save a little money on top of the buyout. This season, it's over. Cap space does not mean the same to about 25 to 26 teams in the NBA as it does to the other 4 or 5. And that's why if it's the Knicks and they're looking to get off Randall, Fournier, there seems like there's framework there. The Knicks just don't think like that because they are just they're an archaic franchise. I'm sorry. They've had some hits in the draft. RJ Barrett is good. Your IQ takes remain terrible. Quentin Grimes is intriguing. Like Deuce McBride, intriguing as well. And look, Alec Burks, nice find. I think people were too hard on him this season. But like the Knicks don't think like that. And so I don't know what the market is for him. And I also think because you're the Lakers, you can't view this as just addition by subtraction. Russell Westbrook is not getting you cap space. So if you're attaching first round picks to Russ and just getting nothing in value of return, you're now still tasked with fleshing out the rest of your roster on a beggar's dime, which I think is really the only other question here is how do they properly flesh out the roster here? Because as of right now, they're going to have, I'm going to say the mini mid-level, and that they're going to be too close to the apron to even use the biannual. So you have the mini mid-level, 6.4 million, and then the rest of your roster on minimums. You need to hit on all of those, like most of those signings, and you need to hit on your mini mid-level this year because you whiffed on it last year with Kendrick Nunn. And looming over all this, by the way, Malik Monk, you don't have his bird rights. And so if he wants to come back for the mini mid-level, fine. He was valuable. He's probably worth it. Your mini mid-level is gone. Gone. If he signs for less than the mini mid-level, I want an investigation lodged into what was going on there. That feels like super quid pro quo, even more egregious than the Nick Batum instance, just because he is so young, passed up a chance to probably make a little bit more elsewhere. Neither here nor there on that. But I'm just curious to see what they do. Is there still is there an appeal to taking a little bit less with the Lakers or to contend? Because can you even guarantee you're contending?
No, absolutely not. I don't understand what the motivation is going to be for the veterans this time around. Like last offseason, they could at least operate under the guise that this is going to be a competitive roster. It's not. It's just not. Like if you want to play with LeBron and 40 games of Anthony Davis, awesome.
Right. And look, the thing that might help them, because I don't want to, it is still LA. It is still LeBron and AD. Because so much of the league is working with less than like even the full mid-level exception flexibility, when the money's equal, I do think compared to most organizations, and I'm be honest here, I love Toronto, fantastic franchise. If Toronto and LA are offering the same or comparable money,
right,
LA is going to win that battle. And so that will help them. But they need to, the front office needs to hit on these signings. And novel concept, and I know you agree, I think they should probably target shooting and defense in complementary capacities around LeBron and AD.
What was that?
Shooting and defense. Complementary shooting.
You said what in defense?
Ball dominant playmaking, non-shooters who play on one side of the floor.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought.